Hello YouTube, my name's Zeke McPeak. Just a brief history. I'm second generation custom painter, and I'm going to do a review on these Harbor Freight paint guns. I've been painting for a long time, and I have used some of the top of line guns, Iwatas, Sadas, and many others. I mainly wanted to talk about these guns because I want to show that you can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish with even a lower priced gun, and it's more about the skills that you have and using the tools that you have access to than anything else. And I think a lot of guys, especially some of my buddies, they tend to make fun of me using these guns because they think you have to have this, fancy equipment, and it's not necessarily true. I think it's more of an ego thing. People like to brag about what they have, and to me it doesn't matter as long as I'm accomplishing the same goal. And these guns right here obviously aren't the best, but I use them for specific things, and there are a lot of guys that do use them for things, and they tend to not even admit it, and I don't know why. I mean, it's kind of smart to buy a gun that's $15 and you can get them on sale for $9. And you can have a whole bunch of them. You can have a whole line of these guns sitting there to do certain things. Maybe you just use them for a primer, or I use this one for, as you can see, I use it for spraying metal flake because it's a mess. And I don't use it all the time, so I'm okay with this cup, because if you use these cups pretty regular, they tend to screw up. They swell up, and the lid doesn't come off very well. And so I don't use this gun very often, so I'm okay using this cup. But I chose this gun for doing my daily things or my custom work, because this is Harbor Freight's what's called professional line of paint gun, and they're a little more money. They're $70, and then I put one of their $15 cups on it because the lid works better. It's got more capacity, obviously. And I left it dirty so you can see that I do use it. I did clean the gun up so you can see more of what it looks like. You can even see the chrome is worn off because I use it a lot. I've been using this gun for about a year. It's a 1.4 HVLP. It's got a head that's very similar to an Iwata, which it has a very large fan that's even, and it will go down to like a pencil point fan where you can do detail work. Now, I've been using it, like I said, for about a year, and about 3 months into it, the air valve, which turns the air on and off when you're pulling the trigger, there's a spring inside there with a plastic stop. About 3 months into it, the spring collapsed. And it has this plastic piece, so I took it apart and I took the spring out, and I saw that it was just kind of a weak link. And I have a graveyard of these cheap guns, and even if you bought a whole nother one of these, I pulled the spring out of this, and it actually had a better spring in this cheap gun and an aluminum stop. So I took that out of one of these old ones that I had, and I put it in this gun, and I haven't had any problems since. The only other thing that I noticed that I had to kind of play with is right here is the pressure valve, which you control the amount of pressure going into the gun, and it tends to fluctuate for some reason. So sometimes if I don't feel like dealing with that, I put another air valve on here, and I just open this completely up, and then I control it with an air valve on the end. But most of the time it doesn't really bother me that much, so I don't worry about it. I just have to readjust sometimes as I'm spraying. But as a painter, or if you do paint, you understand that you're always adjusting things as you're moving along and correcting things as you go along. That's really what makes a good painter, is being able to adjust and to correct anything that's going wrong as you're going along. So I pretty much can do anything that I want to do with these guns, and obviously I can buy a ton of them for the same amount of money as, let's say I buy one top of the line gun, I can buy six of these guns and multiple of these guns. So It's just a choice that I made, and it makes sense to me, and I think it's smart. And you can accomplish pretty much anything you can imagine with these guns, and on a tight budget too. So look out for some other videos that I'm going to do on reviews of equipment that I use, and also some videos on how-to videos on processes and effects and start to finish projects. Thanks for listening.